Hi everyone, we're doing our population project on Vietnam. I'm Pauline and my partners are Darian, Alyssa, Kevin, and Jackie. For our next slide, you'll see Vietnam's location close up to the left and its location globally to the right. Next up, you'll see that our current population is around 97,338,582 people since the start of 2020. And to the right, you'll see our current age structure diagram with the population distributed along the horizontal axis with males shown on the left and females shown on the right.
As you can see, Vietnam is in stage 3 of the demographic stage, which means that the birth rate has started to decrease and the death rate is starting to plateau. As you can see in this chart, the CBR, which means crude birth rate, is around 16.75 births per 1,000 individuals. Crude death rate is 6.317 deaths per 1,000 individuals. Infant mortality rate is around 16 deaths per 1,000 births, which means that roughly around 1.6% of children die when they're born. The fertility rate is 2.04 children per woman, which means that each woman usually gives birth around 2 times. And as you can see in this graph, the population is increasing about 1% each year and adds up to about 1 million people per year. And after 1975, the population had a little spike growth due to the fact that after the Vietnam War ended, a lot less people were dying. But despite this, the annual population growth rate is decreasing each year, and eventually the population will begin decreasing after 2050. And the reason why the annual population growth is decreasing is because the government is pushing the use of contraceptives, which means that, and they also enacted the law of that you can't have more than 2 children. And if any worker has more than 2 children, they're fired from their company or their job, and which places the TFR below 2.1. The TFR means total fertility rate, and if it's below 2.1, then the population will decrease, and if it's around 2.1, then the population will stay the same.
So carrying capacity. The projected carrying capacity will be 100 million. In 2018, the affluence was 5% versus the potential affluence, which would be 16% in 2030. Vietnam's GDP per USD is approximately 245.2 billion. It is rapidly increasing, which shows growth. So some resources would include electronics, machinery, steel, food, processing, etc. So the question is whether or not Vietnam can handle more people, and I would say no, because it is the 12th most populous country on earth. The distribution of wealth is not good, so some people will lead a poor quality of life. Slowly, Vietnam is becoming better, but adding more people could be detrimental to the environment, so we should consider those factors.
Vietnam's major drivers for population change include emigration. Vietnam has seen an increase in emigration to other more urbanized countries. The graph on the side shows the number of people in thousands that have left Vietnam each year, with an overall increasing pattern. This has decreased the overall population in Vietnam, and they usually leave their country for jobs or a better life. Advanced medical technologies and contraceptives have both increased and decreased the overall population in Vietnam. For example, contraceptives and abortions have caused a decrease in population. Qualified medical care at the delivery of a baby and regular checkups have increased the population on the other hand. Vaccinations and health protection laws have increased the population by keeping the young and the old healthy. Improved education rates have decreased the overall population in Vietnam. Education has taught couples on how to raise a family properly and have family planning done ahead of time. They understand the impacts of overpopulation, so they are less likely to have accidental pregnancies. The little bar on the bottom shows the percent of women that use contraceptions, and has increased by a lot. The 2-child policy has also dramatically decreased the population of Vietnam, only allowing couples to have 2 kids. The gender equality and empowerment of women has delayed the age of giving birth. Women are focused on getting good education and a stable job before settling down, in turn decreasing the population in Vietnam.
In the 1990s, the growth in Vietnam's population has impacted the environment because the government was not ready to deal with the problems that came with it, causing a huge strain on the environment. This caused many problems, such as Vietnam having the second highest rate of deforestation in the world, which was caused by the population rising and the demand of wood-related products. This caused a huge shortage, which led to the deforestation of Vietnam. It is stated that only 39% of rural population has access to water, and even if you had water, it may not be considered safe. The water in the northern regions around Hanoi has evidence of arsenic contamination in their drinking water. With the urbanization of many cities in Vietnam, they weren't ready to deal with the pollution problems that came with it. The traffic alone caused 70% of their population, ranked 15th for the worst air quality in the world.
As of now, from the population trend shown earlier, no additional policy is needed. The population was uncontrolled before the 1980s, but certain policies and regulations are already in place to help Vietnam's overall population.
The policies to battle all the effects that came with the population rise was a two-child policy. It was first recommended in 1981 but became a law in 1998. This would ease out the population and it applied to all families except for ethnic minorities. The two-child policy intends to maintain national population growth at 2%.
Other than the two-child policy, the government also encourages couples to have children that are 3 to 5 years apart and recommends mothers to be at least 19 years old, which both keeps the population in check, not overpopulating. Thank you for watching our presentation on Vietnam's population.